Hi guys, Jade Morris here with UFC Featherweight Rob Whiteford. Now Rob, you were the first Scottish fighter to actually be in the UFC. Now the UFC is coming to Glasgow. How does it feel to be on that card?
Amazing, obviously. It was amazing when I was first signed, and it's going to be an even more amazing night on July 18th in the Hydro in Glasgow. It's going to be brilliant.
Have you got a lot of fans coming?
I could probably sell the Hydro out myself, never mind anybody else in the card.
Now, you've actually had quite a long layoff. You've had a few unfortunate back-to-back injuries. How are you now? How are your injuries?
Touch wood, they're fine just now. I was just an unfortunate year last year. It was one injury after another. Came out my first fight against Daniel Pineda with an injury. Rehabbed that, then got into another fight camp for Dennis Seaver on Sweden show. And I picked up an injury in fight camp there again. So it was an injury after the first fight, injury in fight camp, and then it's just took a year really to get back to fitness. So people think I've been injured for a full year. It's not the case. You know, I was training for a fight, I was training after the first fight, and then I got injured in fight camp towards the end of the first year. So it's not like I've been out of action. You know, I've still been training in the gym, getting better. I'm actually a better fighter now than I would have been if I'd fought Dennis Seaver last time. So to me, it's just a blessing in disguise. I'm going to be even better on July 18th.
And you said as well, obviously, you were getting quite a lot of fights on short notice. And you said that after your UFC debut, you wanted a full fight camp. Now, you actually train at you have two different fight camps. How long do you spend in between each one?
During downtime, I spend as much time as I can in Glasgow. That's my home gym. And then coming up for my fights, I tend to go to America maybe for 8 to 10 weeks just to get ready for the fight. There's nothing you can compare with the gym in America as to back home in Glasgow. Everybody in America is full-time athletes. You're on the mat maybe with 30 to 40 guys, all at the same level, you know, pushing you day in, day out. Same with the coaches as well, it's their full-time job. So I feel as an athlete, to get the best out of me and the best out of the environment is better for me on the fight, coming up leading it, to be in America. But apart from that, I spend as much time as I can back home in Glasgow.
Now, you're fighting Irishman Paul Redmond. What do you know about him so far? Have you got a certain game plan going in?
I tend really never to try and follow a game plan. You know, if it's up to me, I go and just fight my fight. It's usually the coaches that try and enforce it on me and try and get me to fight the smart fight. A few years back, when I used to fight in the local circuit, I used to just ignore them and go on and end up in a crazy fight. You know, and that's what kind of got me recognised for my style. But nowadays, the higher the level you go in, the higher the competition. It really comes down to being smart and how you fight and implementing what you're good at and what they're not so good at and try and beating them at their own game kind of thing. So if it's up to me, there'll be no game plan. I'll go in there and I'll just throw down and go nuts in front of 11,000 Scottish supporters. I've watched a few bits of these fights. I tend really not to watch my guys. But again, as you up the level, your coaches are up more on top of you. They'll sit me down in America and we'll watch what he's good at and what he's not too good at. I know he's really got a crazy toe hold that he tends to jump from anywhere. I can assure you that's not going to finish me. You know, I had a guy on an ankle lock and a heel hook in my first fight and I didn't tap it. You know, he destroyed my knee. So if it takes him to destroy my foot, I'll take that as long as I get the win, you know.
That's actually what I was going to ask you about, because quite a lot of his fights ended in submission by a toe hold. So that will be one of the game plans, just to make sure that
I'm already working on that. You know, it's not like I'm going to be ignorant to the fact that he's going to dive in that. I've been working on that maybe for 6 weeks already just now. So come closer to fight time, I'll have more experience of guys jumping on my toes and my feet and my ankles and everything. So it won't be as much surprise to me as it has been to other fighters he's fought. So I'll be more than well prepared for it.
So do you think you match up very well with him stylistically? Because obviously you have been waiting to get on this UFC Glasgow card. You've been very vocal about wanting to get on it. Is this the sort of fight that you wanted to get for Glasgow?
To me, it doesn't really matter what fight I get. You know, I'm going to go in there and do my thing. It's up to him to try and stop me. If it was up to me, I would have fought well before the Glasgow show, you know, and then had another fight in the Glasgow show. That would have given me 2 this year. It's just unfortunate that UFC had different plans and they wanted me to wait and not be injured for this show. But I'm sure come July 18th, Paul's going to bring his game and I'm going to bring my game and I'm going to come out on top. So that's the only thing I know is going to happen July 18th.
And what are your predictions? Do you think we'll get a first round?
I'm going for a first round KO.
First round KO. And you're obviously part of American top team as well. Have you been watching The Ultimate Fighter with them against the Black Zillions? What do you think of the show?
I was fortunate enough to be over an American top team when the show was running. So you'll see me, if you watch the show long enough, towards the end. I was there maybe for 3 weeks towards the end of the show, so if you keep your eyes open, you'll see me in there. So I got to experience it firsthand, the atmosphere, the rivalry, the good stuff, the bad stuff that was going on. I got to go on, I was lucky enough to see the Ultimate Fighter house as well. You know, it was a 27 million mansion over in Miami. The guy who owns our gym, Dan Lambert, it's actually one of his spare houses. It was just lying empty, and he just gave it to the UFC. He says, and there you go, have a shot of that. I think it had 27 bedrooms, 17 bathrooms, and they actually had to shut half the house off so that the two teams would collide. Because the house is that big, they could have stayed far apart for each other for the full 8 weeks or however long the tough was running. So they shut half the house down just so that the guys were more in each other's face. But it was something like a hotel, you know. It was crazy, unbelievable. I think there was something like a £12 million yacht sitting outside as well. It was nuts.
They really seem to hate each other as well. Do you think there is going to be a lot of clashes in the house? Do you know anyone on the Blackzilians, or is it just the American top team guys you know?
Obviously, I know of the guys because I was there and I seen the fights going on. But I'm more friends with obviously the American top team guys. And let's just say it does get heated on a number of occasions.
Obviously, we're going to see a UFC Glasgow. If you do win that fight, what is next for you?
I'm going to win that.
When you win the fight, definitely will argue with you. When you win that fight, who do you want to face next? Is there anyone you've got your eye on next?
There's a guy from America, Sam Cecilia. He's coming out off a KO win over Akira Corisani over in Sweden. I've seen him fighting, seen his fighting style. I think we would make for a great matchup. You know, he comes hitting hard, same style I come with, and I think it's the first person to land the punch and the night's over. Again, it'll be me landing the first punch and the night will be over for him shortly.
Well, we are certainly looking forward to your fight. Thank you so much for taking the time out, and we'll let you get back into fight camp. Thank you so much.